Stretching from the icy Arctic waters of Alaska to the tropical beaches of Florida, from the wild Pacific cliffs of California to the stormy Atlantic coast of Maine, the United States of America is a land of extremes. It's home to the hottest desert and the coldest permanently inhabited town in North America, the lowest point and the highest mountain in the contiguous U.S., the largest river system, the most fertile plains, the longest cave system, the largest canyon, and the most powerful waterfalls. This astonishing diversity helped turn the U.S. into a global superpower, a single country that spans nearly every biome on Earth. Today, we're going to take a journey across 5 distinct geographic regions of the United States and see how its landscapes shaped its people, its culture, and its destiny. The Western Mountains and Deserts. Our journey begins in the west, where the land rises sharply from the Pacific Ocean into towering mountain ranges and sun-scorched deserts. The Rocky Mountains stretch over 3,000 miles from New Mexico through Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, and up into Canada. Their highest peak, Mount Elbert in Colorado, towers at 14,440 feet or 4,401 meters. These mountains are geologically young, rugged, and still growing due to ongoing tectonic uplift. Just west of the Rockies lies the Great Basin, a vast expanse of high desert covering much of Nevada and parts of Utah, Idaho, and Oregon. This region gets less than 10 inches of rain per year and has no outlet to the sea, meaning its rivers end in salty lakes like Great Salt Lake. South of here, the land plunges to the lowest point in North America, Badwater Basin in Death Valley, California, at 282 feet or 86 meters below sea level. Death Valley is also the hottest place on Earth, with a record temperature of 134 degrees Fahrenheit or 56.7 degrees Celsius recorded in 1913. Farther west, the land rises dramatically again to the Sierra Nevada, home to Mount Whitney, the tallest mountain in the contiguous U.S. at 14,505 feet or 4,421 meters. Just 85 miles away lies the lowest point at Badwater Basin, one of the greatest elevation drops over the shortest distance on Earth. Beyond the Sierra are the Cascade Range in Washington and Oregon, part of the volatile Pacific Ring of Fire. The Cascades are dotted with active volcanoes like Mount St. Helens, which famously erupted in 1980, and Mount Rainier, considered one of the most dangerous volcanoes in the U.S. due to the millions living nearby. This western ridge is harsh, dry, and earthquake-prone. Yet it also contains some of the most breathtaking scenery in the world. From Grand Canyon's mile-deep chasm to the towering red rock arches of Utah. It's a place of extremes, where nature shows its raw power, and where human settlement is still sparse compared to the east. The Great Plains. Moving east, the mountains fade into one of the flattest places on Earth, the Great Plains. Covering more than 1.1 million square kilometers from Texas to North Dakota, this vast expanse was shaped by retreating glaciers and ancient seas. The soil they left behind is incredibly rich, making the plains one of the most productive agricultural regions in the world. Nicknamed America's breadbasket, the Great Plains produce enormous quantities of wheat, corn, soybeans, and beef. States like Kansas and Nebraska export food worldwide, feeding hundreds of millions of people. But life here comes with its own challenges. With few trees or hills, the plains are vulnerable to fierce winds, blizzards, and tornadoes, including some of the most violent on Earth. The region's climate swings from -30 degrees Celsius in winter to over 40 degrees Celsius in summer, and droughts like the Dust Bowl of the 1930s have devastated communities. Despite this, the plains became a symbol of freedom and opportunity during westward expansion. The Homestead Act of 1862 gave settlers land here, leading to a population boom that transformed the U.S. into an agricultural superpower. The Mississippi Basin and interior lowlands. Next, we enter the lush green heart of America, the Mississippi River Basin, which drains 41% of the continental U.S. The Mississippi River stretches 2,340 miles, or 3,766 kilometers, from Minnesota to Louisiana, joined by massive tributaries like the Missouri River and Ohio River. This system carries over 500 million tons of cargo each year, from grain and coal to steel and oil, making it one of the busiest river networks on Earth. Along its banks lie major cities like St. Louis, Memphis, and New Orleans. It was here in the fertile Mississippi Delta that U.S. blues and jazz music were born, shaping global culture. But this region also faces danger. Seasonal floods are common, and catastrophic events like the Great Mississippi Flood of 1927 reshaped the region, leading to the construction of massive levees and flood control systems. The flat terrain and humid climate make the basin ideal for farming, while its rivers provided natural highways that helped unite the country's interior long before railroads existed. The Mississippi Basin has been called the spinal cord of America, and without it, the U.S. as we know it might not exist. The Appalachians and the Atlantic seaboard. East of the Mississippi, the land begins to rise again into the ancient Appalachian Mountains. Stretching from Alabama to Maine, the Appalachians are among the oldest mountains in the world, over 480 million years old. Time has worn them down to rounded ridges and deep forested valleys. The Appalachians are rich in resources, especially coal, which fueled America's Industrial Revolution. Towns throughout West Virginia and Kentucky once supplied much of the nation's energy. Today, the mountains are known for their biodiversity. The Great Smoky Mountains host more than 19,000 documented species, more than any other U.S. national park. East of the Appalachians lies the Atlantic Coastal Plain, a low, flat strip of land from New Jersey to Florida. This was the cradle of the original 13 colonies. Natural harbors like New York Harbor and Chesapeake Bay allowed early trade to flourish, and deep rivers carried goods inland. Today, this region forms part of the Northeast Megalopolis, the most densely populated area in the U.S. and one of the largest urban corridors on Earth. Home to over 50 million people and generating more than 20% of U.S. GDP. But this prosperity comes with risks: aging infrastructure, frequent Atlantic hurricanes, and rising sea levels that threaten low-lying cities like Miami and Norfolk. The southern wetlands and Gulf Coast. Our final stop takes us to the Gulf Coastal Plain, one of the most unique environments in the country. Here, subtropical heat and humidity dominate. The Everglades in Florida are the largest subtropical wetland in North America, a vast river of grass, home to alligators, panthers, and hundreds of bird species. West of here, the Mississippi River Delta forms one of the world's most complex estuary systems, vital for migratory birds and fisheries. Offshore, the Gulf of Mexico holds huge oil and gas reserves, and ports like Houston, New Orleans, and Mobile rank among the busiest in the country. But this region is fragile. Rising seas, powerful hurricanes, and coastal erosion are swallowing land at an alarming rate. Louisiana alone loses a football field of coastline every 100 minutes. Entire communities are relocating inland, marking the first wave of U.S. climate refugees. And that completes our journey across the United States, a country that contains the world's most extreme deserts, oldest mountains, richest farmland, busiest rivers, and most vulnerable coastlines. Its geography is why the U.S. rose to global power, and why its future will depend on how it protects and adapts to this wild, diverse landscape. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Around the World, and join us next time as we explore more of the incredible planet we all share.